Hey everybody, welcome back to another video of Doll Talk. On social media, as you might know, 2016 is definitely a hot topic currently, like the 2016-2026 thing. So I thought today it would be very interesting to see the evolution of dolls and how they were really deeply affected in 2016. So by evolution, I'm not talking about vast evolution. So, like Barbie in 1959 and so on to now. I'm talking mostly like just before general dolls and then during around the 2016, so I'm talking about 2016 to around, 2020, when dolls were very low in quality. Before we get into this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hype the video. And also, I want to say thank you so much for all the support in my last doll talk video. I'm really happy, and all you guys were lovely, so thank you. Anyways, let's get into it. So dolls before 2016 were very kind of like fashion based, especially when it came to Barbie, and I'm gonna go and specify in around the 2000s and early 2010s. Now, the fashionistas today are very different to the fashionistas you would get in the early 2010s and very, very late 2000s. At the time of their release, they would be more like glam, very pink, very feminine, and very, very controversial. But that very much changed in 2016, very much. Now, Mattel definitely did start taking, I would say, baby steps towards how they got in 2016. Around 2013, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it was. They actually scrapped the articulation because I think around that time they were starting to put a budget in for all the diversity and all kind of like, the flat feet, curvy, petite, tall, and then obviously the resculpture of the original body, no longer using the belly button mold. But yeah, the fashionistas definitely started to decline, and I feel like the last good year for Barbie as a whole was definitely probably 2015. I feel like that was probably the last aspect we got of Barbie with glam. Now, I will say that now, Barbie, I feel like Mattel is starting to push a little bit better, especially with the designer Angel Ken. Some of his designs are very 90s, pastel. But I do feel like some other core lines and niche lines that Barbie does have it's there, and it's not tacky, it's just they're there, and you can see that Mattel, well, not Mattel, but the designers truly do kind of want that glam pink Barbie aesthetic back. The only problem is that the materials they use now aren't the best. Most of it is kind of just polyester and faux denim, which is just a big no-no. But yeah, anyways, I feel like the design for the early 2010s were really good, but I feel like the quality with the fashions weren't amazing. Most of it was just either cotton or polyester with a print on the front. But one would argue that even going into the late 2010s to now, Barbie still only has one-sided passions. One-sided fashions, and it doesn't carry on in the back. Now, I haven't actually seen that because I don't normally buy Barbies that have that. I'm assuming it's mostly just the budget dolls, but yeah, I haven't actually seen that before, like, since 2018 or something, but yeah. Now moving to Monster High, since we're on the topic of 2016, we gotta talk about G2. G2. Now, I will say the G2 Shipwrecked line, it's positive. I'll give it. I'll give. It's giving late G1, which again wasn't amazing. But I'll give, it's fine. It's there. Like, it looks nice. It looks fine. I'll give it. I'll give it. But most of G2 was a significant design fail. Just everything. Like their faces, their fashion, their shoes, and also their articulation as well. It was just a major design flaw. Now, luckily with G2, that left, and even Mattel's not saying anything about it. Obviously, it turned 10 years about just over 2.5 weeks ago when January came in. But yeah, we don't talk about now near the end of G2, which was in 2017 and 2018, because the generation did not last long at all. There's not a load of dolls that were made, but near the end, you can just see that it was like the final floor. You know, whenever a doll line, I guess except for Barbie, has painted on swimsuits, unhemmed skirts with it painted on top, it's the end. And the last dolls were incredibly uncanny to me. Like, it was just scary how bad they got. Like, just look at this. Look at this. Like, just hell no, sister. Like, absolutely not. Now they got about 180 million sales that year, which was the lowest they've ever had. I'm pretty sure. No, 150. My bad. And it just shows that that was like the nail in the coffin for Monster High until 2020. Now, obviously, how the hell did this all get to how it got? Well, in 2015, Disney pulled out their licensing with Mattel, which very much affected Barbie, Ever After High, and Monster High. Now, you could partially blame Ever After High for this because Ever After High and Disney Descendants were very, very similar. And let's just say Disney wasn't a whole appreciative of Ever After High having a very, very similar concept. And the fact that their Disney dolls were practically being made by a competitor of their Descendants line. So Disney scrapped Mattel. They were like, bye, bitch. So Mattel was putting a lot of money into Ever After High and was kind of just leaving the princesses just staying there with their printed on fashions, their molded on tops. Disney was kind of derelict to Mattel, and yeah, so Disney didn't like that, so they pulled away. And guess what? Mattel loses 400 million. Barbie's struggling. Monster High's still doing well, but they were trying to respond to the criticism. That ends up flopping. They get 250 million during T1 start. And Ever After High, that just died because of Descendants. You know, that was their competitor. They flopped and died. So yeah, Barbie was just clinging on to dear life. Luckily, after the diversity thing in 2016, she started claiming. So yeah. And now Mattel's just like in the middle of both. You know, they're going down in sales still progressively each year, but they're still stable. And Barbie's actually had a really rough year in 2025, so we'll have to see. But Monster High is thriving. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me on this Doll Talk episode. I don't know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. And follow me on TikTok, Callum's Barbies. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.